Hello, my name is Vedanth from Westwood High School in Austin, Texas. I would like to thank the International Youth Research Conference for the opportunity to present CardioMend, a cross-architectural deep learning framework for cardiovascular pathology detection and neurophysiological dynamics modeling. This system integrates advanced segmentation, hemodynamic modeling, sensory response simulation, and quantum-enhanced optimization into a single patient-centered approach for detecting, treating, and adapting to cardiovascular disease. Heart disease remains the top global killer, largely because damaged cardiac muscles lack the capacity to regenerate. After injury, the heart replaces dead muscles with fibrotic tissue. This scarred area disrupts the heart's electrical rhythm, weakening contractions and amplifies stress during each beat. Over time, this contributes to arrhythmias, chamber enlargement, muscle thickening, and eventually cardiac failure. As shown in the slide, isolated scar zones often expand and merge, distorting electrical flow and creating uneven mechanical strain that impairs recovery. To disrupt the cycle, we need to develop a model that can essentially predict, treat, and monitor. A responsive and individualized model, one that can simulate disease progression and support earlier, smarter clinical interventions. Unfortunately, standard cardiac MRIs have significant blind spots. They miss nearly 1 in 5 cases of myocarditis and show a 10% variation between physicians measuring the same heart. Even repeat scans carry a 2.5% margin of error, making it difficult to monitor subtle changes over time. Worse still, most blood flow anomalies only show up during exercise or exertion or physical exertion, so resting MRIs often miss them entirely. This forces clinicians to rely on invasive diagnostics, increasing risk, cost, and discomfort. Following a heart attack, the body forms scar tissue in place of functional muscle cells. This disrupts the electrical pathways and weakens the mechanical pump. These scars can't contract, which increases strain on the surrounding healthy tissue, eventually triggering harmful remodeling. Cardiac patches are an excellent treatment methodology, which offer both structural and biochemical reinforcement. Applied early, they can limit remodeling and preserve ejection fraction, helping stabilize the heart and prevent its gradual decline. Patches consist of hydrogels or biodegradable materials that deliver medications to damaged tissue. Scarring interferes with ion channel function, which throws off the body's autonomic regulation, but by tailoring treatments to these mechanical and electrical disruptions, we increase the chance of meaningful recovery. Here the project objectives are highlighted, and each objective will be explained and explored as we progress through the presentation. Starting with the model framework, step 1, anomaly detection. We begin with raw MRI scans and process them using a 3D convolutional network. This creates a detailed heart mesh while simultaneously flagging suspicious regions like hypertrophy or ischemic scars. The output is a geometric model of the patient's heart marked with abnormalities that serve as clinical red flags. Step 2, stress calculation. We then combine the heart mesh with 12-lead ECG data transformed into vector cardiograms. This enables us to simulate how stress distributes across the myocardium during each heartbeat, capturing functional strain patterns invisible to static imaging. Step 3, anomaly segmentation. Next, we isolate each abnormal region and quantify its shape, scale, and spatial orientation. A hybrid model combining CNNs and graphical neural networks dissects the mesh and separates anomalies, providing clear parameters for intervention. Lastly, step 4, sensory and neurovascular simulation. In the final stage, we bring in physiological data like heart rate, before and after a stimuli, to see how the nervous system essentially interacts with the cardiac function. This module translates real-world sensory input into autonomic effects, offering a dynamic window into how everyday experiences alter cardiac behavior. To train these models, we rely on diverse publicly available datasets spanning anatomy, electrical activity, disease pathology, and autonomic response, ensuring each component is grounded in validated medical data. Each modeling task uses a tailored architecture from segmentation to flow dynamics, all within a unified Jupyter Lab environment. This lets us test the entire system in one continuous reproducible pipeline. Taking a deeper dive into step 1, 3D mesh generation and anomaly detection, the architecture for step 1, we first clean, standardize, and noise filter each MRI scan. Then a 3D UNet performs the first pass, the segmentation, then a fragment loop fine-tunes the output. The resulting mesh is analyzed by a GNN, which flags each voxel using both spatial and textual features. Lesion coordinates are extracted, giving precise volume and localization data. This model represents essentially how the model processes inputs and outputs. The model has 2,450 scans, and after testing, our SE ResNet plus VIT plus JET architecture achieved 90% accuracy in segmentation with a 0.939 F1 score and over 91% anomaly classification. Step 2, left ventricular stress calculation. The left ventricle handles the greatest pressure in the heart. Chronic overload here can lead to irreversible damage. Our model simulates this by fusing anatomical and electrical data to calculate how stress evolves across the heart wall. We convert the mesh into a dual-domain model governed by fluid mechanics and tissue elasticity. The Navier-Stokes equations model blood flow, while the Hosopel-Ogden law handle structural deformation. A physics-informed neural network ensures all interactions obey the laws of motion using ECG-derived vectorcardiograms. As real-time input instantaneous vectors from these VCGs help trace the direction and instantaneous velocity of blood flow, revealing both speed and regional pressures. The resulting output is a hemodynamic simulation which shows intrinsic stress placed on the cardiac environment, which is influenced by shear stress and is the energy used to counteract blood pressure. We found that the thin myocardium adjacent to scar tissue sees stress spikes near 70 kilopascals. In contrast, thicker, healthier muscle next to the same scar tissue exhibits far less strain, about 22 kilopascals. Plotting the difference in relative wall thickness versus stress yields a strong correlation, R squared is 0.897, clearly showing where the heart is most vulnerable. Step 3, anomaly segmentation. Here we further refine lesion detection using a two-pass method. A CNN scans for large anomalies first, then a graphical neural network, convolutional neural hybrid, dives deeper using a mesh geometry to detect smaller or more diffused fibrosis that the CNN alone might overlook. Each extracted lesion is repositioned into a common coordinate system, eliminating variation in orientation across patients. We tested how close predicted fibrotic centers were to their actual locations. Convolutional neural networks such as EfficientNet alone had errors of 3 to 7 millimeters, while the hybrid model reduced that to under 3 millimeters, with significantly fewer outliers. A 3D plot and a histogram show that the EfficientNet severely underperformed the hybrid graphical neural network. We reduced the average localization error from 5 millimeters to about 2 millimeters. This precise mapping is essential for later models, especially for simulating stress and customizing patch design. Ultimately, this accuracy enables more tailored therapies and deeper biomechanical insights. Step 4, sensory and neurovascular simulation. We analyzed over 1,000 sensory response pairs, each linked to real-time changes in heart rate. Excitatory stimuli that raised towards 120 BPM, while relaxatory inputs dropped them to 60 BPM. Each stimuli was given a severity score from 0, least severe, to 1, most severe, using artificial intelligence sentiment scores. Severity essentially describes how much higher heart rates were from resting values. While this may vary from individual to individual, these scores are representative. We observed linear trends in both directions, confirming that sensory inputs has predictable cardiac effects. Using this data, we trained an LSTM that updates stress simulation based on moment-to-moment changes in a person's environment, offering a dynamic, real-time window into cardiovascular stress. Similar trends across all 5 senses can be seen, and real-time variability in stress calculations can also be made. Patient environment and risk analysis can also be done. Manually tuning model parameters is insufficient. Instead, we use a 2-part strategy. Qiskit's quantum approximate optimization algorithm, or QAOA, selects the best discrete settings like mesh size and solver type. A classical reinforcement learning agent acts as a backup, then fine-tunes continuous parameters such as tolerance and stiffness. To accelerate this, we apply Grover-inspired sampling to avoid redundant simulations. This hybrid method slashes computation time while preserving performance, and we validate outputs based on new cardiac cases to confirm reliability. Going on to overall data analysis, we will start off with segmentation, which hit again 97% accuracy with a dice score of 0.931. Fibrotic anomalies were correctly classified 91.4% of the time. hemodynamic simulation and stress modeling, flow VCG alignment was 0.931, and our wall stress predictions matched real data at an R-squared value of 0.897. This demonstrates that the model's effectiveness in simulating physical heart dynamics. Anomaly segmentation. Graph-based enhancements dropped lesion centroid error from 5 millimeters to 2 millimeters. Our combined model reached 91% classification accuracy with an F1 of 0.898 and an AUC of 0.941. Sensory and neurovascular simulations. Stimuli with high intensity explain nearly 93% of the heart rate variance for excitatory inputs and 82% for elastatory ones, highlighting the model's strong predictive power and autonomic response. Quantum hybrid optimization. Our QAOA plus RL system cut tuning time from 4.5 to 3 hours per patient and solves solver errors from 5% to 2%. Final summary. CardioMed offers a powerful patient-specific view of the heart, combining imaging, stress modeling, sensory response, and quantum tools into one system. Main conclusions: even with strong results, there's room to grow. Some MRI or CT scans can be noisy, making segmentations less reliable, and tissue models simplify real anatomy, and emotion-based signals don't always reflect how every patient's body reacts. Plus, while quantum methods speed things up, today's hardware still introduces noises. Future expansions ahead, streaming real-time data from wearables could help the system adapt on the fly. More advanced heart models could better capture electrical and mechanical changes. And as quantum hardware and machine learning improves, we'll explore new algorithms while keeping backups in place. These are my references. Thank you so much to listening to my presentation. And again, I thank the International Youth Research Conference for giving me this platform to be able to share my research.